Alright, welcome to my third request tutorial. It's actually not requested, and I took a long time to actually record it, to actually begin recording it, what I'm doing right now. But anyway, here we got Legends Destroy. Pretty many subs, I noticed actually. And he says, after finishing these tutorials, I feel like everything we've done will be a bit difficult to remember how to do. Do you have any suggestions for memorizing the concepts? I'm planning on making a useful stuff sheet. Well, for memorizing the concepts, it's probably helpful to just know what you have to do if you start from scratch. So let's actually start from scratch and create a new screen. What's that? There's an error in. Oh yeah. And that's actually what we're going to do right now, is to create a credits screen completely from scratch. So let's create this class. Just gonna go into the package screens, and there we got our class. We don't need this anymore. Well, let's just keep it there. And now that we start this class from scratch, it's always useful to at first set up all the objects that you need, all the variables. So what we need is definitely a stage. That's what everything is based on. Also we need a skin to skin everything. And then we optionally can have, which makes sense for menus, a table. Okay, this is just going over this really quick. So then in our show method, let's set these things up. Stage equals a new stage. It's simple as that. Skin equals a new skin. We like, well, at least I like to take this constructor where we just pass in the file handle for the skin file, which is going to be gdx.files. Files.internal. Is this doing what I'm saying? Okay. UI menu skin.json. Actually, let's create another skin, credits skin.json. And then the atlas. New texture atlas. UI atlas.pack. We can just use the old atlas here because I hope I don't have to explain how to create an atlas again, and yeah, I think you understood that. It's just about the concepts right now. So then let's create the table. Now this credit skin.json doesn't exist yet, so let's just create one real quick. Inside the desktop, and there inside the assets folder, UI, new untitled text file, and just something that it can parse. Well, I guess that's it. File name is gonna be credits skin.json, and we'll put it in, what are we gonna put it in? Blackpoint 2, Android assets UI, and it automatically synchronizes with our desktop project. So there we got this credit skin. Of course, right now it's pretty useless, but we're gonna fill it up as we need. So let's move this here. Credits, cool. So now let's go on. We set all our objects up that we have right here, but we definitely should not forget to dispose them. So let's do that right now so that we can forget. Stage.dispose, skin.dispose, and that's it. Skin.dispose also automatically disposes the texture atlas that we put in here. I knew in the previous tutorials we've been doing it like skin equals new skin, where we just put in the files, blah blah blah, you know what I mean? File handle, menu, skin, JSON, whatever. And then we said skin dot... What did we actually say? Oh, yeah, okay, we used that constructor, but we created the atlas before, and then we disposed the atlas separately. But that's not even needed, because we can just put the atlas right here and create it in the constructor, and then it's disposed with skin.dispose. We see that if you hover over it, disposes the texture atlas and all disposable resources in the skin, so that we don't have any problem. Now the dispose method is not really called yet if we just set another screen, so we have to put dispose in the hide method. So if we set another screen, hide is called, dispose is called, and everything is disposed. So now we are fine with our resources. Let's actually get something on the screen. At first we wanna clear the screen. So gdx.gl for OpenGL .gl clear color to black with a transparency of 1. Then gdx.gl.gl clear. And I don't know about OpenGL. I don't know OpenGL actually, but I know that it is GL 2.0 or GL 1.0, doesn't matter, but I'm using 2.0 dot GL underscore color underscore buffer bit. Fine. So now this clears the screen with a black color, so that we don't have the stuff of the last frame left. That would look weird. And now we wanna have the stage and let it act, so that every actor inside is updated, so that we actually can click the buttons and everything. We don't have to put this delta value here, but because we already get it here, I just put it in there and that's it. If we don't put it in there, it's fetched from gdx.graphics.get delta time. So I don't know if that's faster or not, but I'm just putting delta in here. Then stage.draw, and we're drawing it. That's actually all we need to do. Now one thing that's probably good to do is to make everything resizable. So stage.set viewport with height false or true, it doesn't matter for you if you want the viewport to be the same. And also we probably want to resize the table, so table.set size to width and height. And one thing we shouldn't forget is that this is not possible, because before we can change something with a table, we need to say table.set transform to true, which unfortunately has a bug in it inside it, so that it won't work. But we've found out about this workaround, so we can say table.set clip true, which inside sets a transform to true as well. So that's doing the job for us. Let's actually add a little comment here so that we know that it's a workaround for table set transform. It's just the way you mark up these methods in comments and stuff, in Java docs and everything like that. So now we know what's going on. And now we can actually run this, I think. I don't know if it's gonna complain about the empty JSON file here, but let's just hope it doesn't. So let's run it. And it doesn't complain, because we didn't add any actors that require the JSON file yet. So we can close this, and we're done with this. Remove atlas.dispose, because I told you we put the texture atlas in here, and the skin disposes it automatically. So now it's just for the concept, so let's do it real quick. A new text button. We want to add a new text button. Back, I don't know, a back button. and that's gonna be a new text button, which is gonna take back as its text and the skin for its skin, obviously. Then we probably want to put a padding on this thing on like 10. I think we could include this. I think we could actually not include this in the skin, but anyway. Then we want the back button to have like a functionality, so that it makes sense to put a button there. So add listener, new, and now you see it says new event listener, but we are gonna say click listener because the click listener extends the input listener and the input listener implements the event listener. So we are fine here. What's the problem? Import, and then add the class body to this thing, and override the clicked method. And if this is clicked, we wanna actually we don't need that. If this is clicked, we want to go to the previous screen, and to go to the previous screen, we need to get the application listener. So game dot not game, what am I talking about? GDX dot app dot get application listener, and that thing is a game, so otherwise we wouldn't have the screen support at all. And then we set the screen to a new main menu. Okay, so that's all we need for the back button. Now let's actually put the back button into the table. So table dot add back, and now the table has to go into the stage. Stage dot add actor table. So now we have the back button, which is going into the table, which is then going into the stage, and the stage is updated and drawn and resized, but the table as well. The stage doesn't automatically resize the table, we have to do that manually right here. So now there's still one thing missing that I like to forget, and that is the input. So we said this should happen if we click the button, but nothing's actually gonna happen because we can't click the button yet, and that is because we have to set the input processor set input processor to the stage, so that the stage will receive the input events and then give them to the table, and the table is gonna give them to everything inside the table, so the back button, and that is gonna give it to its listener. Now I think we can actually test this out. And yeah, now we get the exception, because in the skin there is no text button style with a name default. That is because we just set skin, and yeah, you know it. It's just about the concepts. So let's go into the credit skin and create such a new text button style. It's gonna be called it's the package com.bat logic.gdx.scenes.scene2d.ui dot text button, and there's the inner class text button style. Oops. Now let's see what this text button style thing requires. Text button, and there we got the inner class text button style. And this is all optional, but we need to put a font in there. So I won't tell you how to set up fonts again. It's just a concept, so we have to put we want to make a new text button style, which is going to be named default, and inside there we want to put the font, right? Yep, it's called font. It has to be the exact field name like it is here. So font is gonna be the font black 32, which unfortunately does not exist yet, because only stuff that exists in here exists exists. So let's create one of these. The fonts are, let's just type out bitmap font, oops, uppercase F, and see what package that is in. There we go. Copy, remove the bitmap font text here, and now we got the package. So we can put this in and create a new bitmap font. It's gonna be called black 32, and it's gonna be in the file font, we see it here, font black 32.fnt. There we go. So font black 32.fnt. Now why just file? That has to be in the actual bitmap font class. There has to be some field that's called file, I guess. File. Font file? There must be some kind of file in there. Well, I don't know. A little bit complicated probably, but it's working. There's really no file in here, is it? Well, I don't know. It's just working like that. We just accept this. We could figure it out, but we don't need to, I guess. So anyway, this black 32.fnt we got right here. If it opens up, yeah, the fonts defines the file. What I can talk. It defines the font. So the face is ochre std as we said it. Size is 32. That's correct. And here we got the image, which actually contains the font characters, and that is called back32_0.png. So we don't have to say that in here because it's included in this one here. And there we got the image, in case you were wondering. So now the buttons should actually draw. Oh yeah. Oh no. Error reading this file. Okay, let's actually have a look in the menu skin. Ah, yeah, sure. I just put the package here, but not the actual class, which is bitmap font. So now it should work. Yeah, no exception. We don't see anything because we set it to black 32, and well, unfortunately, black on black isn't really visible. But I could click on it already. You saw that I could click on it. So let's add a background to this one. And how do we define the background? We see that in here, text button style. Color. Color? Are you sure? Yeah, extends button style. Here we go. Pressed offset X and pressed offset Y. We probably want to set those. We don't have to. Let's at first set the backgrounds for up and down. Inside here, up is gonna be something from our texture atlas. So let's look in the texture atlas, and that's gonna be button.up right here. hello button dot up down is then gonna be button dot down. So just a minute earlier I said only what exists in here we can use, and these obviously don't exist in here, but we can use them because in the credits class, when we create the skin, we pass in the credit skin.json, which is this one, and the texture atlas. So then the skin takes care of mapping these here to the texture atlas. What else can we do? Checked over disabled. We don't need any of these. Let's just set these two here because it just looks more realistic. So pressed offset x1, pressed offset y. Oops. Watch out to not do any syntax errors here. Also 1. So I think that should be fine. It somehow isn't. Yep, it somehow isn't, but I still can click it. Why isn't that? Up button up, down button down. It seems to set him. Well, that's weird now. Yeah, that's really weird. We set up to button dot up, right? Not any syntax errors in here. No, I don't see any syntax errors. Oh, sure. I'm an idiot. I added all of this to the bitmap font. The bitmap font doesn't need these. The text button style needs these. What am I doing? I'm going over this too fast. Now we get an exception. Well, that's at least something that we can work with. What? No float registered with name 1. Okay. So we don't put these numbers into these, I don't know what they're called. We just put them like this, because if we put them into these, it searches for it in the JSON, but like this, it knows they are native or something. So now it should actually work. And there we go, it works. So we see the button has this black 32 one, because we set the input processor, it is also moving. Yeah, it can be pressed, and it's got the padding of 10 pixels left and right. It's got the pressed offset, which is actually not correct at the moment because you see it's moving up. So this is -1, and now it should be moving down. It is fine, and it's got the up and down images. So that's all we need. It is also resizing itself correctly to the correct place without being resized when the window sizes. Cool. So that's all you need for a button, actually, if you want to keep it simple. Now let's do a little bit more work on the table here. Let's actually create a few more buttons. I don't know, let's create a what can we all create? Inside the level menu one, we got a scroll pane, we got a list. Yeah, let's actually create something cooler. Let's create a window. Oh yeah, let's create a window. And let's actually create it above the button, because we're gonna put everything in there. Window equals new window with the title, I don't know, credits, and the skin. Then window dot set What can we do? All kind of things. No, actually, that's good. We just don't want to add the back button to the table, but instead we want to add it to the window. So window.add back. Now we need to create the window style for the menu skin.json file, and therefore we need the title font. So let's create one more font, which is going to be called Black 64, which is in the file font black 64.fnt. Cool. Yeah, when we're already added, let's create the white ones too. And the one with 64 pixels height. Cool. Now a window style. LibGDX.scenes.scene2d.ui.window window style. Good. Default title font is gonna be, let's take black 64. Then the background. How's the background called in here? Oh, just background. Okay, simply background. Background is gonna be default.background, which is from our atlas.peg file. And what can we create as well? Probably no, that's all we need. So now we got a window style, and this window takes the button in there. Now let's use window.peg to size the window according to its content, which is currently just the back button. Right now the window won't really work. It will work and it will do everything, but it will not show its title because we have to put window.peg top 64 so that the title is 64 pixels high. We can also drag it on this top padding there. So now let's put the... Actually, we don't want to put the window into the table, I guess, because it should be independent from the table. And now the table is pretty much empty, so let's actually delete it. Fuck the table. We just add the window. The window itself, just for your information, in case you didn't watch my other tutorial, extends the table, so we got a table to align our stuff there as well. That's also where the pet top, where the add, and I think also the peg one comes from. I don't know. Yeah, it also comes from the table. So now, why is there an exception? Oh yeah, because of this. We don't need this anymore. And there we go, there's a little window. Woo! Woo! Cool. Fun. Yay. What can we do? We can set a little bit more of size to the window, I don't know. Window.peg has to go because we want to set the size manually. So window.set size, and let's actually do that right when you create the window. Like right, I don't know, there or there? There. Yeah, there's cool. Width is gonna be stage.get width divided by 1.5f, and height is gonna be stage.get height divided by 1.5f. Let's set the position, so that's kinda in the middle of the screen. Window dot set position to stage.get width divided by 2 minus window dot get width divided by 2 stage.get height divided by 2 minus window dot get height divided by 2. Now it should look good. There we go. So that's basically the basics about about menu creation. You can have a look inside the GDX scene2d.ui package to get all kinds of actors that you can add. There's a label, there's a skin, there's the window, the text button, button group, checkbox, dialogue. Dialogue is also pretty cool. I would like to try that out. Select box, slider, where you can like these adjustment sliders for volume or something, split pane, touchpad, everything, text field, vertical group, widget group. Is really worth to have a look in there. It can take a lot of work from you if you have the widget that you want. For example, tree is pretty cool. A tree widget where each node has an icon, an actor, and child nodes. So you can do things like this here. This whole bar here you can do with a tree, I think. Definitely have a look at that. So now let's just really go over this really quick. We create a new screen. Let's make these here a little bit smaller so that they don't confuse us. We'll create a new screen. We put the fields in there that we need, and that's actually just the stage and the skin if we want to keep it minimal. The next thing we want to do is make sure these things are disposed, and in case we set the new screen by just using set screen new whatever screen, we want to dispose in the height method. Then we want to set up all the show stuff here so that actually the screen is created. Then we want to make sure that this is rendered by clearing and then acting and drawing with the stage. If resize, we want to set the viewport of the stage, and that's it. These two are empty. So that's basically menu creation, everything we did in the last few tutorials. For JSON, the syntax is pretty simple. We just do these here, then we say package name and class name, then we do these again, then we say object name, which is the object that we want to instantiate, kinda, so the object that can be instantiated with this exact name from this kind of definition that we define inside two more of these. Then field name, oh actually no dot in there, field name, value, for example complex value is going inside these ones here, inside these, for example bitmap font is complex, and then we got, how are these called, primitive value, or data type, primitive data type, complex data types. They just go there like that, which is actually these. And I think for characters you could also use the simple characters, but often it's just numbers or 1 dot, I don't know, 1.999 something. I didn't try it out. You can try it out if you need to. So that's it, and then if you want to create more, just put a comma and do the same again. Logic, blah blah blah. So that's the simple part for the JSON files. The atlas.peg files that we need are generated by save programs. The LibGDX texture, is that right? Yeah, atlas.peg is generated by the LibGDX texture packer. The texture packer takes 9 patches, which are images with scaling information, and we can create them using the draw9 patch, which is already included in the Android ADT that we have installed anyway, because otherwise all this wouldn't be possible. And to get this Android ADT draw9 patch thing, we just go on our local hard drive, then we go into program files. Where do we go? Now we go into program files for 32-bit systems. Oh no, actually, we go somewhere else. Where do we go? Java, Android. Isn't there something like Android? Let's see, where is this? Yeah, there is that folder. I just didn't find it. Android inside. Oh no, that's something different. Local hard drive, programs, Android. There we go. Android SDK. I think extras. No, not really. Tools. And inside tools we got draw9patch.bat. So that's what we wanna execute. And then we get this nice tool to draw9patch. Yeah. Oh, cool. Then we just open a file, draw the 9-patch stuff on it, and then close it again. And save it, obviously. So that's how to create. Then we put them all inside the GDX texture packer. We have some things here that we can set, like JPEG quality, blah blah blah. Disabling force power of 2 is good if you use OpenGL 2.0, because it doesn't require this anymore. Well, and then we get this atlas.peg and atlas.png file from the GDX texture packer, which we can use to put into our skin for the texture atlas. So putting inside the texture atlas, which we put inside our skin. So I hope this helped at all, a little bit. Yeah, that's really just going over this real quick again. I hope it was quick enough, and I hope I didn't miss anything important. Yeah. If I forgot anything, just tell me. So hopefully, yeah, blah blah blah, you know what I mean. Have a good day, thanks for watching this, and I am definitely going to get into the game part, okay? I know I'm not uploading something for a long time, but that's because the actual game part is complicated, okay? Because we want to use Box2D for physics, and physics, well, Box2D handles them for us, but it's a little bit hard to draw the correct things at the correct place. So that's what I'm working on right now. So sorry for any late uploads. Yeah, thanks for watching.